you know, the person that we perceive of ourselves is often so far removed from the person that others perceive us as.
So Twitch is a live action kind of streaming service for video games and now etc. Barnsey streams video games, himself playing video games and entertainment.
Barnes' first foray into streaming personally, not just watching the occasional stream, was he was with his friend, playing games with his friend. They were just having boys' day, and he was playing Mega Man, and his friend said, you know, you're actually really funny to listen to. You should really jump onto Twitch, have a go at that. I think you'd have fun. And because his friend lived about 60 kilometres away, he rarely got to see him, so it would be a way for the boys to hang out either way.
He's very passionate, he's very positive, he's very fun, and he's, like, I don't know if it, based off what I've seen behind the scenes, he's very involved and passionate about his community and just like Twitch as a whole.
Oh, he's definitely a creative person. He's hugely creative. The ideas he has, I don't understand how a normal person can think that broadly, you know, just come up with things essentially out of nothing.
I think we're all a little creative, whether it's picking the right ingredients for a meal, knowing what colours go together, or even just picking out that someone's dress goes well with their skin tone, you know, like we all have a little bit of creativity. I guess some of us just they just nurture it a little more than others and feed that creative impulse that we get and just kind of dive more into creative arts. Like I suppose I'm one of those people.
I would really like to travel the world doing comedy. I would, or even just get into a position where I could soak up the knowledge and the experience of people who came before me. I think that'd be really cool, to be able to properly learn how to hone my craft and be like a legitimate professional stand-up comedian, as opposed to like an amateur who, you know, does the best but probably has a lot to work on.
His streaming's definitely more polished. Because he's only done a stand-up a few times as far as I'm aware. I'd kind of like to see him turn this into like a thing, because I mean, it'd be good. I think it's a good outlet for his like creativity, because you mentioned the comedy before, you know, so he's always wanted this. It seems like he's always wanted the stage. So I think this would be a bigger audience. I think having this as like a professional lifestyle would be fantastic for him. I think that would be great for him.
Most of the time when I tune in when he's supposed to be online, it's like he has a counter on the top of his stream and it like ends and then it restarts a new timer sometimes because he's not ready and stuff like that. But that's mostly because technology is the worst.
I don't know if he's working on it, but his time management is appalling. If he says he'll be ready at 4 o'clock, you can expect closer to 5:30 or 6.
We have 2 other siblings. Barnes is younger than me, and we have one older and one younger than him.
My mother and my father's relationship dissolved, and so because of that, you know, my father left and he moved to a different suburb, and my mother wanted to stay in the suburb that we were in. We couldn't afford the house that we were in anymore because, you know, without the dual income. So we sold the house and we rebuilt the house as well. So it was really disappointing. Like my own 2 young hands contributed to the construction. We moved around to a lot of different places because she wasn't so good at keeping them, especially with my eldest brother being a bit of a piece of shit. The second she wasn't around, which was literally every night, he was throwing parties and being really loud, and it would be maybe a month, 2 months before we got evicted. I always wanted to get into the same mischief that my eldest brother rather, and it became very difficult. But he was a terrible influence. I was talking to a friend that we knew together from back in those days, and he let me know that a lot of what they taught me, they intentionally taught me wrong and taught me poorly, so that I would have, because they found it funny. And a lot of those lessons I took into high school and were pretty much the reason that I got bullied and had the shit kicked out of me as often as I did. Yeah, so that was disappointing to hear. Yeah, it was quite difficult to change schools regularly. I didn't change schools every time I moved, but you know, to stay somewhere for longer than a year we were lucky. I don't know, truthfully. I know I was an angry teen.
He isn't on stream most of the time, but I have seen him justifiably get angry at like somebody that was like breaking the terms of Twitch. Like his stream is a plus 18 stream, and I got in at the end of a kind of argument he had with a viewer that came in and was just like, I'm 16, can I join? And he was like, no, get out, and stuff like that. So, but nothing more than what I haven't seen anything like he's crazy or something like that.
When he used to get mad, when we would like wind him up, he used to do this thing where he'd basically just like clench down on his wrist like really hard. That was like his little tick. Yeah, it was really quite funny. For some reason, that one always just like stands out for me from when we were younger.
There was one that was fairly recent. Someone made a thoughtless comment in stream and then someone else responded in an equally thoughtless way. And they're two people that everyone in the community adores. So it was two people who are loved by everyone being idiots, and now those people aren't actually communicating with anyone in the stream. It's become quite an awkward thing, and Barnes obviously didn't handle it well. He didn't mitigate the situation in a way that I think he feels that he should have. There's only so much you can do when it's other people behaving like idiots to each other, but yeah, I think that that's weighed on his mind quite a bit recently.
Yeah, he used to have a temper. Haven't seen it much these days, but he had a bit of a temper when we were younger. I think he's mellowed out a lot, yeah, absolutely. I think he has mellowed out a lot. Definitely mellowed out a lot, actually.
I just don't like being angry. I spent so many of my formative years being angry at the world and angry at the people around me that I just don't want to do that again. I wish I knew what brought it on. I'm just going to assume hormones. But yeah, it was something that once I got over and I found a better life for myself and a better way of living, I never wanted to go back.
Yeah, he's a shit. Like he's an absolute shit. But like I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah, it is a bit weird, but not in a bad way. Like, it's good weird, which is good for the internet. Like, that's the people that do well on the internet are that weird good.